Let's talk about actual football for a few minutes, if we can. Oregon USC, a Big Ten clash. Honestly, I live for days that we see Pac-12 teams playing Big Ten matchups. Cal Stanford is another one that is a great ACC battle that we'll get this weekend. Tom, USC, can they play their way into the playoff this week?
It's possible. I think the injuries that both teams are dealing with are going to be critical. And the truth is, I can't give you an answer today what it's really going to look like on the field on Saturday at Autzen. I think both teams have got their issues right now. I think Oregon losing to Corian Moore at wide receiver was a real hit. It's not that they lack depth at that position, but he was the real spark of the offense. He could be a possession receiver. He could be a big play guy. And asking a true freshman to do that is significant. So that is something they're missing right now. But Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, is the best rushing team in the Big Ten. And that's something that they've shown the entire season they're willing to do with a variety of different backs. Dante Moore is able to get on the act. Dante Moore is maybe the best quarterback in the Big Ten right now. I know a lot of people are pointing towards Mendoza and Julian Sayin. I'm a big fan of Dante Moore. He is calm, cool, collected. He can do everything you ask him to do. He is very comfortable being in the pocket. He can run a little bit, but they're not careless with the way they do design quarterback runs. He is very accurate. He does not get rattled, and he doesn't turn the ball over. So I think that's going to matter. This is an Oregon team that did lose to Indiana at home. Not comparing USC to Indiana, but like they can be beaten at Autzen. They're not impervious up there in Eugene. USC, meanwhile, is also dealing with injuries after dealing with Iowa at home last week. And I was somebody that thought Iowa was going to go to LA and beat the Trojans. So credit to USC. They were able to withstand that. They still gave up roughly 5.5 yards per carry and 183 yards rushing to Iowa. So if Iowa is doing Iowa things with the best offensive line in the sport and still couldn't beat you with that, Oregon is probably going to be able to run the football on you, and they need to stay committed to that. The question is going to be the injuries on USC's defense. Their primary defensive tackle, Silver, is potentially out. Kamari Ramsey, their potential All-American safety, is possibly out for this game. The starting left tackle on the offensive side of the ball, Page, went into the injury tent against Iowa. So you got two teams at this point in the season. It's natural. It's November. Both these teams are hurting. But I think you're going to see a bit of a battle out in Eugene. It might be a little lower scoring than what people are accustomed to seeing from Oregon and USC, whether it's in the Big Ten or the Pac-12. But I think this is going to be intriguing. I think Oregon is going to be able to run the football consistently. They just need to stay committed to that. And if you're looking at what USC is able to do offensively, they also need to stick to running the football, because if there's a way to get to Oregon, it is by running it up the middle. And that's something that a lot of teams, Penn State had success against them earlier on this season, and Penn State's a very run-heavy team. So USC needs to stick with that, but their silver bullet continues to be Jaden Mayava in this passing game. They're very efficient the way they throw the football. They have the people that can hurt you. This Oregon secondary has played well, so it feels pretty even. I still like Oregon in this matchup, and I think the spread is 8.5 in favor of the Ducks. I think USC covers that, but I like Oregon to get out of Eugene with a win.
Tom, the thing that I'm wondering about in this game is it's the same thing I wondered about when Oregon faced off against Iowa. Remember, Iowa had like a top 5 pass defense in the country. Mm-hmm. Who have they gone up against? Name the passing attack that was really, really good they've gone up against. Oregon's number 1 in the country. Oregon has yet to go up in their last 5 games against a top 70 passing attack in the country. They're going up against number 10 USC. And USC is more than just Mekhi Lemon. They got Jacoby Lane. They got multiple other weapons that can make plays. They got good running backs out of the backfield that can catch. So could that be a deciding factor where you see, okay, yeah, Oregon's a good secondary, but this is an elite passing attack. And they can get the ball and spread it on out. And Mayava's just able to go ahead and dink and dunk his way to victory and just go thread the needle into the right locations at proper times, and then be able to eventually get those deep shots down the field that you're testing the secondary of Oregon to truly see if they really are a legit number 1 defense. Like, if they really are a legit number 1 team. I think that that's the way that you're going to have to win if you are USC, because of while there are some things that you look at in terms of the physicality of what we saw last week and the ability to fight back by USC to win that game against Iowa, there's still, I think, in my overall opinion, wondering, do they have the fight to be able to go toe to toe with these physically dominant teams? And I think that Oregon was a lot like Texas last year when they joined the SEC. They were so well built that they were able to handle going up against SEC competition because of they had the Jimmies and the Joes. And that's Oregon. Well, Oregon still has those same guys. Does USC have those guys entering their second season in the Big Ten to where it feels like they're going to be able to run it down the throat of Oregon? They're going to be able to get to the second and third level of the defense. I also think, for the standpoint of, if you're Oregon, I would probably want to see the passing attack kind of be the big selling point, because the thing that I've got to remind everybody of, I'm not sure if Oregon loses this game, they're guaranteed to be in the college football playoff. Like, with how many teams that we're going to have at 10-2 and how many teams that we're going to have looking at their record and asking what's the most significant win. Like, if the committee wants to go ahead and say, yeah, the logo of Penn State's really pretty, so that means that it's a really good win at this standpoint, then sure, we'll give it to them. But besides that, what's their best win? Is it on the road against Iowa that can't throw the football to save its life? Is it against Portland State? I mean, it could be against Washington, but like, still, that's kind of where you are at this level of, you got to get that signature win. So I think that you got to be able to show that you are a more multifaceted offense that allows you to kind of make the case of, we're built to go on a run to the playoff, which, again, you can trust your rushing attack. It's like number 6 or 7 in the country when it comes to how many running backs that you have make plays. But I want to be able to see you make some big time plays downfield. Now, Corian Moore's status is really big in this matchup. I think that Kenyon Sadiq, him coming on back last week, was awesome, and it allowed them to have a good passing game. But I think that you need to be able to win through the air. And this is one where Dante Moore is going to have to take matters into his own hands.
I will say this. The one loss that we can point towards for Oregon is like, okay, how do they do against a superior passing attack? The loss at Oregon, also, I think that's important, to Indiana. I don't know if you'd say it's apples to apples, the Indiana passing game, to what USC is able to do. Maybe you feel that way, Cole. I'm not sure how you feel on that one. But ultimately, Oregon held Mendoza to 20 of 31 passing, 215 yards through the air, averaging 7 yards of completion, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. So they didn't get killed in that department. It was ultimately Elijah Surratt, 8 for 121 and a touchdown. So they had issues keeping the top on him. And there's a bunch of different guys for USC that could potentially get in on the act. But he didn't get killed by that passing attack of Indiana. What killed Oregon in that game was 2 interceptions by Dante Moore, uncharacteristic, and Dante Moore getting sacked 6 times. I think Indiana presents a better challenge defensively. That defensive line is one of the better ones in the Big Ten, dare I say, in the country. I think they present a bigger challenge from a defensive standpoint, Indiana, than what USC is going to be able to present this coming weekend. I think Oregon's going to be able to score on them. So this is, to your point, if they get this win, it's their best win, but it's still against a team that's in what, the 20s right now, ranking, or low teens. I can't remember where they are.
Hey, I'll get right back to the video, but first I do want to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. Make sure that you are on the Sleeper app. We appreciate all of their support this football season. Use our code CFA for a 100% match up to $100. We will play the More or Less game on Wednesday on the Power 2 live here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed and don't miss it. Make sure that you've already deposited and you're already good to go. While you're doing holiday shopping for everybody else, make sure you're on the Sleeper app taking care of yourself too. Check their terms and conditions because terms of use do apply. We appreciate Sleeper for their support. USC's like 15, right? 14, 15?
Yeah, 7 versus 15.
Yeah. Which, for Oregon, it feels like you really need to win it because of the log jam we've talked about. If you lose this, Pate talked about this last night. There is no way, unless USC drops their last game of the year to UCLA, there's no way you finish ahead of them. And with this log jam that's happening, I don't know that you're getting in. I think this is, I think it's pretty close to an eliminator game for both these teams, which should be fun.
I think the other thing that you just got to remind yourself of is, if we're going to see this many teams be as close as they are with the rankings, your wins are going to have to matter at some point. Mm-hmm. Guess who would have a very signature win? It would easily be USC. Guess who doesn't have a signature win at all right now? It's Oregon. Like, Oregon got mollywopped in their own backyard by Indiana. Their best win is against underwhelming offense in Iowa and Penn State. Like wins have got to matter. Alabama would hold a head-to-head in terms of wins over the quality of wins. I think that Notre Dame would have quality wins over both of them because they'd have a win over USC. You look at teams like even BYU. They'd have a signature win over Utah. They would have one loss, and potentially you're not going to throw Texas Tech out of the playoff if they were to lose in Arlington and BYU clinches their spot. So it's like that's where we are. Yeah. The wins at some point are going to have to matter, and Oregon right now doesn't have it.
I like Oregon 24-17. I do think USC covers. I think this is a little lower scoring. But I won't even hype up a prediction. Like, that's it. That's what I got.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Tom. I'm going to agree with TJ on this one. I think that Oregon's got this. I think Oregon's got this pretty big. Like, I think Oregon actually covers.
Interesting. I'm going to take Oregon. I agree with TJ. I'm going to say 23-20 against USC. USC covers.
Fun one. If Tom and I are right. We'll see, though. I haven't kept track of anyone's picks this year, so
I am never wrong.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows how we've done? I've never missed a prediction.
Oh, I'm doing terribly, I think. I don't know what my